This workflow is going to cover the setup of creating a new project. So here I am on the start screen, new project up here in the top right hand corner. I'm going to replicate the same site I've been working on. So this one here is in Denmark. So we can go to Denmark and I'm going to put it in this particular folder, and this one is going to be called massive. I'll just leave the invite only project turned off. This is just controlling who can access. And now we're going to go to the location. So I want to go to Copenhagen. I'll just zoom in here. So down here it's a newer part of the development site. You can turn on the aerial imagery here. So down here we've got the figure 8 building by Bjarke Ingels, Big Architects. And a little bit further up from this site is some of the earlier work. So you've got the mountain and one of their earlier multi-residential projects here. So this is the site of interest. So I can get in here and we can fetch the property boundaries. So because this is set up with all the local data, we can pull down this information. We've got a lot of options here to pull down stuff. So here I'm going to select my site here. It actually does, the existing one here does actually cross over a road. So I'm just holding down Control to grab that information. I won't grab all that because you can see it grabs the rest of the boundaries of the other site. So this is going to be my main area to focus on here. I'll go to next. So you can see here's the site area. Now it's a little bit too small, so I'm just going to zoom out a little bit until this starts to show something a bit happier. So here we have, so 0.29 square kilometers. So it's a small site. I don't need a huge amount of context. I could go back until it gets to 4 kilometers. So once you actually zoom out here, once you're over that 4, you can see here at 5, it's not liking it. So that's the limit of where you can get to. So 2 by 2. But I don't need all this information. I usually prefer to work with a slightly smaller site. So I'm just going to go for that and confirm the map area. And now we have some of the data that we're bringing in. So there's some things that are good or maybe not so good in certain areas. So you can see here we've got 2 different types of building sources. One is the OpenStreetMaps. One is the OpenStreetMaps for roads and buildings. So these are estimated heights, but we want the actual proper data here. So I'm just going to turn off those ones, keep the accurate roads, the accurate buildings, and the accurate property boundaries, and go proceed. This will now pull down the information. You can also grab these little nodes there to expand the site should you need to. And now we have the information loading up for us. So we have our site here. You can right click and spin around to see it in 3D. It's still pulling down a bit of information. What you'll notice here is there is a railway here. It's got the water areas. If you need to look at it with the signage, you can turn that on as well. You've got unit outlines, should you want to do that. You've got building colors. We haven't done anything here yet. And you've even got realistic sky. So you can sort of see there's a bit of a gradient there in the background. Here's our site, and I'll leave off the satellite image for now. I'll just go for the map. That's all I need. You can go to 2D, 3D. You can also save out camera positions should you need to. Now it still is bringing down some of the existing buildings, unless it didn't capture the existing buildings. Now, if it hasn't done that, we can go back and we can look at those data sources. Okay, so yeah, it's still bringing in that information, so that's why it just isn't populated here. But if you need to, you can actually order more stuff here. So I'm just going to let that populate. What we do have here in the layers, you can go and hit edit, and this will show you a few more layers which you can turn on and off. You can add more information to those layers should you need to. So here, now you see the buildings have populated on the site. I'm going to be editing these buildings here, so you can see these are the existing buildings. So if I turn that on or off, they will turn off. So what I'm going to do is just delete this information on the site, because I want to delete this building and recreate something, and I'll get rid of that one as well. You've also got things like terrain, screens, existing building, roads and rails, outdoor area. A simple thing just to show here, just to get started on this, is if we want to add a rail. So I've selected the rail layer. I'll just go to my 2D view here. Here we know there's some rails here, and again you can start to see that in the satellite image if you want to be able to view that a bit more accurately. So I want to, with the rail tool, go and create a vector line from point A to point B. So I'm just going to delineate over the railway line here, and I'll do that again for the other rail. I'll just call this R1, speed limit, daily traffic. We can leave this as needed, and then we also have advanced settings. So you've got vehicle length and rail type. So you can see there's tram and subway there as well. I'll just go back and add the second rail. Oops. And that should be done. Hit return. Got to get it within the boundaries of the site, and I'm just going to see if that did allow me to do both rails. Right, just let me do one, so I'll just continue that within the same command there, and you can see it's actually snapping to the rail line there. So again, return, and now we have rails in there. Yeah, 1, 2, so apply. So you can go further with this and create outdoor areas, add more existing buildings, building pads, roads, rails, screens, etc. Once you've done that, this means that when you come to use some of these tools here for analysis, that information can be used to help calculate it. So there is a noise analysis tool here, and that's where that rail information will come in handy. So that's the basics of the site setup, and you can see because there is localized data here, there's a bit of detail in the buildings. I've got another tutorial should you want to replace some of these buildings with more accurate information. But it's a very simple and easy way to get up and running to create a site, and then start using the design tools next to look at your building options with the AI tool or some of the design automations. So that's the basic setup for the site.